My name's Mike Rash. Today we'll be going over the modernized version of the vehicle inspection. Modernized version of the vehicle inspection checks the safety critical items on the vehicle. For the test, you'll have to point to or touch the items and fully explain what you're inspecting the safety critical items for. You'll be able to use a checklist for the test. Checklist has all the safety critical items listed on it. You can use this checklist for your test. Not allowed to have any notes or any markings on the checklist. We'll begin the test with the in-vehicle engine start. We'll continue on to the front of the vehicle, engine compartment, steering components, front driver side axle, side of vehicle, under vehicle, coupling system, and then the trailer.
This will demonstrate how to exit the vehicle. When exiting the vehicle, you must set your parking brake, place the vehicle in neutral, and safely exit facing the vehicle while maintaining 3 points of contact at all times. This is the proper way to exit a vehicle. This is the wrong way to exit the vehicle. If you exit the vehicle facing the exterior, not maintaining 3 points of contact, it will result as an unsafe act. It will be an automatic failure.
We'll begin with the in-vehicle engine start. We'll begin the in-vehicle engine start by checking our safety items. Need a fully charged mounted fire extinguisher, 3 red reflective triangles, and spare fuses or breakers, whatever the truck's equipped with. We'll start our engine. We'll be checking our ABS light. ABS light should go on and off. DEF light should go on and off. ABS light should also go on and off on the driver's side of the trailer. Okay, we'll build our pressure up to approximately 120, 140 pounds. We'll have to state our governor cutoff pressure, whatever that may be, and then we'll go into our air brake check, which is going to check for leaks in our air pressure system. We'll check our low air warning device, which should come on before 55 pounds, and we'll check that our parking brakes pop out or close at approximately 45 to 20 pounds. We'll state our governor cutoff pressure. We'll state when our low air warning device comes on. We'll also state when our parking brakes pop out. We'll now build our pressure to governor cutoff. We'll be listening for the air tank to purge, and then we'll state that pressure once the air pressure reaches governor cutoff. There's my purge. It purged approximately 120 pounds. So, to check for leaks, we will shut the engine off. We'll turn the key to the on position so our gauges will work. We'll release our parking brakes. We'll let the air gauge settle. Once the air gauge settles, we'll apply the foot brake. Keep pressure on it for 1 minute. We'll start a timer for 1 minute. We're allowed to use our cell phones. And we'll time the air pressure loss for a minute. Now we do have our window down, so we are listening for leaks also while we're watching our gauge, making sure we don't lose the 4 pounds in 1 minute on our air gauge. Our air pressure stabilized right at 90 pounds. There's our full minute. We did not lose more than 4 pounds in that minute time. So next we'll check the low air warning device, which should activate before 55 pounds. And here I will state the pressure when it does activate. Low air warning device activated at 60 pounds. Now our parking brake should pop out between 45 and 20 pounds, and I will state the pressure when they do pop out. Parking brakes popped out approximately 20 pounds. That concludes our air brake check. We'll restart our engine, build our air pressure up to governor cutoff. Alright, we'll continue on with the in-vehicle engine start. Have to check our lighting indicators, left indicator, right indicator, 4 ways. Turn our headlights on, check our high beam indicator, our heater and defroster, turn that on, turn it to heat, turn it to defrost, make sure the air is blowing from the vent, turn it to the floor, make sure the air is blowing from the floor. We'll check our electric horn, check our air horn, check our wipers. Wiper arms should be securely mounted, not bent or broke. The blades should be securely mounted, not split or cut. Have to make sure that they operate and that the fluid works properly on the windshield. We'll check our windshield, make sure that our windshield is not cracked or broken. It's clean, no aftermarket stickers on the windshield. We'll check our monitoring devices. Our mirrors are clean, adjusted properly. And then we'll check our parking brake. We'll check our truck parking brake and our tractor parking brake. We'll check our tractor parking brake first by releasing the trailer parking brake. Put the truck in drive. Gently tug against the truck parking brake. Make sure it's working properly. Now we'll check the trailer parking brake by having the trailer brake applied, releasing the truck parking brake, put the truck in drive, gently tug against the trailer parking brake to make sure it's holding properly. Now we'll check the service brake. We'll release our brakes, put the truck in drive, move forward 5 miles an hour, shadowing the steering wheel. We'll apply the foot brake, make sure that our wheel doesn't pull left or right, make sure that our foot brake's working properly. The tester's not looking for any particular order for the items that you check while you're doing the in-vehicle engine start procedure, as long as you cover all the items before you exit the vehicle. This concludes the in-vehicle engine start procedures. Next item on the list is the lights operation check. Each applicant will have to turn on the lights and inspect all lights on the vehicle. Front of vehicle, side of trailer, rear of trailer. We'll start by turning our headlights on and our left turn signal indicator on. We'll go to the front of the vehicle. Make sure our headlights are working properly. Our left turn signal's operating properly. Our clearance lights on top of the vehicle are working properly. Left turn signal light is operating properly on the side of the vehicle. Left turn signal's operating properly on the rear of the tractor. Clearance lights working on the side of the trailer. Working on the rear of the trailer, clearance lights. Left turn signals working on the left side of the rear of the trailer. Well, my tail lights are operating properly on the rear of my trailer. We'll go in, turn our right turn signal on and our high beam lights. Check that our high beam lights operate properly. Our right turn signal light is operating. Right turn signal's operating on the side of the tractor. Right turn signal's operating on the back of the tractor. Clearance light operating on the front of the trailer. Clearance light operating on the back of the trailer. Right turn signal's operating on the rear of the trailer. Now go and check our four-way flashers. Four-way flashers are working on the front of the vehicle. Working on the left side of the tractor. Working on the rear of the tractor. Working on the rear of the trailer. And also working on the right side of the tractor. Last lights are the brake lights, which we need to check on the rear of the tractor and the rear of the trailer. Tester can assist you with these lights. Next item on the checklist is the front of the vehicle and the engine compartment. We'll check our lenses, make sure our headlight lenses are clean, not cracked, not missing. Our side turn signal lights are clean, not cracked, proper color, amber, not missing. Clearance lights are clean, not cracked, not missing, proper color, amber. We'll look underneath our vehicle, make sure there's no puddles. Then we'll go to the engine compartment. We'll check the right side of the motor. We'll check our hoses, make sure they're not split or cut. Securely mounted, not leaking. Check this side of the motor for any excessive leaks. We'll check this side of the transmission. Make sure there's no excessive leaks on this side of the motor or transmission. Any air lines we have over here, we need to listen for leaks, make sure they're not split or cut, not leaking. We'll check our coolant level, make sure it's between add and full. We'll go to the left side of the motor, check our hoses over here, make sure they're not split or cut, all securely mounted. Check our air lines, make sure they're securely mounted, not split or cut. We'll also listen for leaks from our air lines. Check left side of the motor for any excessive leaks. Check this side of the transmission. Make sure there's no excessive leaks on this side of the transmission. We'll check our power steering fluid by pulling our dipstick, make sure it's between add and full. We'll check our oil level, pulling the dipstick, make sure it's between add and full. And we'll check our steering components from our cab, make sure it's not bent or broke. U-joints are greased, securely mounted. Steering box securely mounted, it's not leaking. Steering box hoses should be securely mounted. Hose should not be split or cut or leaking. Steering linkage should be securely mounted. Castle nuts, cotter pins are in place, secure. Steering linkage should not be bent or broke. My sockets should not be worn, should be secure. From the steering components, we'll go into the suspension parts. My suspension parts, front spring mount should be securely mounted, not bent or broken. Also have to check our rear spring mount, should be securely mounted, not bent or broke. Our leaf springs, not be cracked, should be in alignment. should not be missing. Our shock absorber should be securely mounted, not bent or broke, not leaking. We'll go to our brake parts. We'll check our brake hose. Should be able to supply air, securely mounted, not kinked, not swollen, not leaking. And we'll go to our brake drums and shoes. We'll make sure there's no grease or fluid, no contaminants on our brake drums, brake shoes. From here we'll go and check the wheel parts. We'll check our tire. Our tread should be evenly worn, no flat spots. We'll check our tread depth. Make sure we have a minimum of 4/32 tread depth. There's no split, cuts, bubbles on the side of my tire. We'll check my valve stem. Make sure it's straight, not leaking with a cap. Valve stem must be accessible. I will check my tire pressure with the tire pressure air gauge. I will check my rim. Make sure my rim is not bent, broken, or have any aftermarket welds. Also, my rim has no distorted lug nut holes. My lug nuts, there should be none missing. They should all be tight. There should be no rust trail signs indicating a loose lug nut or any shiny threads indicating a loose lug nut. Also, all my studs are straight, not broken or missing. Also, for our suspension, we have to check, make sure our vehicle is level from front to back. We also need to check and make sure our vehicle is level from side to side. That concludes the front axle. Next we'll go to the side of the truck. Next section on the checklist is the side of the vehicle. First off, we'll check our lenses. Make sure they're clean, not cracked, proper color, which is amber, and not missing. We'll check our reflectors. Make sure they're clean, not cracked, proper color, amber, and not missing. We'll check our monitoring device. Check our bracket. It's securely mounted, not bent or broke. Our mirror is clean, not cracked. We'll check our battery box. Our battery box lid should be securely mounted. Our batteries should be securely mounted. We'll check our lines, make sure that they're not split or cut. Make sure they're secure with no corrosion. Make sure that our cover is also secure in place. We'll go to our DEF tank. Make sure it's securely mounted, not leaking. Make sure our cap is securely mounted, not leaking. Make sure our DEF lines are securely mounted, not split or cut, not leaking. We'll check our fuel tank. Make sure it's securely mounted. Fuel tank's not leaking. Make sure our cap is secure, not leaking. Also our fuel lines, they're securely mounted, not split or cut. Fuel lines are not leaking. We'll check our frame of the vehicle. It should be straight, no cracks. Frame should have no aftermarket welds or any aftermarket holes in your frame or cross members. We'll check our cross members. Make sure they're straight, not cracked. All bolts are in place and tight. Next, we'll do the coupling system of the truck and trailer. We'll inspect the coupling system of the truck and trailers. We'll start with our air lines. Make sure our fittings are secure, not leaking. Make sure our electrical plug is secure, all the way in place. We'll check our air lines. Make sure they're not split, cut, tangled, kinked, or leaking. Make sure our electric lines, make sure it's not split, cut, mended, repaired. We'll check to make sure our air and electric lines are not rubbing against the catwalk. Make sure they're not rubbing on anything. We'll also check the connections at the trailer. Make sure our fittings are secure. They're seated well. They're not leaking. Make sure our electric plug all the way in is secure. And Next, we'll inspect the fifth wheel area. We'll make sure our fifth wheel plate is securely mounted. Our pin is in place. Fifth wheel plate is straight, is flat, no cracks, is greased. There should be no gap in between the fifth wheel plate and the trailer apron. The trailer apron should be flat, no cracks, greased. Go to our release arm. Release arm should be pushed all the way in the lock position. Any locking mechanisms should be locked in place. We have a sliding fifth wheel. Our locking pins we cannot see, but we'll make sure our locking pins are in place. They're fully extended into the teeth of our slide rail. Next, we'll inspect the kingpin, make sure it's not bent or broken, it's securely in place, and that our locking jaws are wrapped around our kingpin. There should be no play in the kingpin and the locking jaws. Next item on the checklist is the trailer. First, I'd like to inspect my clearance in between my tractor and my trailer landing gear. Make sure there's enough clearance to turn. Check my landing gear. Make sure it's securely mounted, straight. Braces are straight, securely mounted. My landing gear is all the way raised. The pin's in place. My landing gear pad is not bent or broke. I'll check the trailer frame. Make sure it's straight, no cracks, no aftermarket welds or holes. My cross members are straight, not cracked, no aftermarket welds or holes. They're secure in place. Check the floor of my trailer, make sure there's no cracks, no holes in the floor of my trailer. First off, we'll check our lenses, make sure they're clean, not cracked, proper color, which is amber, and not missing. Check our reflective tape, make sure it's secure down the side of the trailer. It's not peeling, purely mounted to the trailer. Check our lenses. The rear of the trailer should be clean, not cracked, red in color. There are none missing. From here we'll go to the rear of the trailer. Check our lenses. All the lenses on the rear of the trailer should be clean, not cracked, red in color. There are none missing. This concludes the modernized version of the vehicle inspection. We checked all our safety critical items that are required on the visual inspection. Please subscribe to our channel. We will be releasing new videos for new content as it comes about. You can post questions on our channel. We'll get back to those as soon as we can. Thank you. Have a good day.